messed up significantly. YouTube not only does not want me right facing, it also does not want me horizontal anymore. Hopefully this will not fall down. I was not set up for this. We'll see what happens here. We're just gonna have to go with it. Hopefully you guys can hear me, and visually looking like a whole busted bag of shit over here. It's fine. I was not planning on going live this soon, but some information has come out that we need to discuss, and my phone is not gonna stay the way it is. Listen, YouTube is playing games because YouTube does not want us to have these conversations. We're going to talk about New Orleans. We're going to talk about January 6th. We're going to talk about tomorrow that Kamala Harris, as acting vice president, whatever. She hasn't acted like a vice president for years, but Kamala Harris tomorrow is supposed to certify Donald Trump as the new president starting January 20th, right? Tomorrow's certification, or starting the 21st. I believe it's the 20th. I'm always off on this. So let's just jump into everything. I want to try to find a way to make this thing stay on the phone, not fall down. But you know what? It's just going to be a really stupid angle, and we're going to have to deal with it. It's fine. Let's start off with January 6th. We'll get to New Orleans. No, we need to really quick. Hold on. There is so much going on when it comes to the New Orleans Islamic terrorist attack, or ISIS terrorist attack is what they were calling it, still calling it. What's going on with Las Vegas and Matthew Leibelsberger, and the fact that that seems to be a whole ass setup. But what has happened in the past hour? The New Orleans Assistant District Attorney Ian Kirsting was found dead in an apparent suicide. So the irony, and I'm going to go with irony, the irony here of the same city that has had the first big attack of 2025, the assistant district attorney has now taken his own life. That's what they're saying. By gunshot wound, they're saying he took his own life. Don't know if we believe it. Don't know what's happening there. It's breaking news. So I wanted to just give you that information right now. But let's first talk about January 6th, all right? Tomorrow is the day where, again, Kamala Harris is supposed to certify Donald Trump as the winner of the 2024 presidential election, right? And this happens, I believe it's House of Representatives in their wing or whatever. Everybody gets together. And for those of us, this phone is going to piss me off. For those of us who are newer to politics and weren't paying attention last January 6th, when there was a certification, let me explain exactly what happens, because I wanted to make sure that I did this in a way that even 5-year-olds would understand, or myself, because again, I don't know all of the ins and outs of politics. I am learning. This is all new for me, okay? So I was curious how this works for the certification. So this is all the information I have. I'm going to bring it to you and tell you. It says here, everybody gets together, Congress, representatives, Senate, all whatever the crap all the words are. The presiding officer opens and presents the certificates of the electoral votes in alphabetical order of the states, all right? The appointed tellers from the House and the Senate, members of both parties, then read each certificate out loud and record and count the votes. At the end, the presiding officer announces who has won the majority votes for both president and vice president. Now, we know for a fact that that was Donald Trump for president and J.D. Vance for vice president. It was a flippin' landslide. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz did not have a Ice Cube's chance in hell of making it through, right? So people say, well, what if there's an objection? Because you may remember January 6th of the last presidential election, there was an objection. Rightfully so. But it says here, after a teller reads the certificate from any state, a lawmaker can stand up and object to that state's votes on any grounds. It could just be because they don't want it to be accurate. They don't like the person, whatever. They can object on any grounds. But the presiding officer will not hear the objection unless it is in writing and signed by 1/5 of each chamber. So if you've got 50 people, 10 of them have to sign off on this, right? Now that threshold, y'all, this was interesting to me, is significantly higher than it used to be after the last presidential election and what happened on January 6th at the last certification, right? So it says here, previously a successful objection only required support from one member of the Senate and one member of the House. Lawmakers raised the threshold in 2022 into law to make objections more difficult. Now, you have to ask yourself, do they want to make objections more difficult after that because they knew that Donald Trump had reasons to object and there was fact behind his objections? Or did they want to make it harder to object because they were going to try to steal the election this year with Kamala Harris? So they wanted it to be harder for Republicans and even other Democrats to be able to go, hey, no, that sounds like bullshit. So you have to wonder why they do what they do. I never think it's for positive reasons. I always believe it's for nefarious reasons because the government is trash in general. Hoping that the next 4 years will completely change that point of view for a lot of people, that more people will look at our government as a positive as opposed to a system of people that just holds the American people down and basically takes care of everybody but its own country. And I feel like Donald Trump and JD Vance will be the ones to come in and make that change to where people can look at our government in a positive light. All of them? No, not all of our government. There's still going to be some shiesty, shitty people in different areas throughout our government, whether it's from the low end all the way, not all the way to the top, but you know what I mean? Like in the House, in the Senate. I don't trust everybody, right? Anyway, it says here, if any objection reaches the threshold, meaning 1/5 of each chamber has to agree on it, something not expected at this time is what they're saying. They don't expect that to happen. They don't expect 1/5 of, the Senate or 1/5 of Congress or however this works. What is it? To want to challenge anything, because I'm pretty sure that even though the Democrats put up a big fight with all the money they spent, even they know that Donald Trump won fair and square, right? So if there were to be people putting up objections, the joint session suspends and the House and the Senate go into separate sessions to consider it, to sit back and ponder and consider, right? For the objection to be sustained, both chambers must uphold it by a simple majority vote. If they do not agree, the original electoral votes are counted with no changes. So even if there is an objection, even if 1/5 of each of the chambers decides that they're going to object to this one state, let's say, I don't know, Pennsylvania, because that one, a lot of people were expecting to go blue and it flipped red. And man, when I tell you, watching Benny Johnson lose his shit when Pennsylvania went red made me lose my shit jumping around like a crackhead in the middle of the living room at, whatever time it was. It was late. We live on a second floor. Felt really bad for the people who live below us because I'm not a small girl. My jumping probably knocked some things off the wall. But that's the one state I could see really trying to do anything or object anything, right? But even that's not going to work. And if it doesn't, even if they all in Pennsylvania, they go, nah, we don't believe it, and they go to their separate sessions and they come back and they haven't reached or whatever, it still counts. That's what matters to me. Now, once Congress does their votes, they read through everything, they vote through it, kind of what happens next was my question, right? So it says, after Congress certifies the vote, the president is inaugurated on the west front of the Capitol on January 20th. The joint session is the last official chance for objections beyond any challenges in court. Harris has conceded and never disputed Trump's win. So that is a plus. We know that she wanted to win in theory, but even she has said that she did not win. She conceded before all of the tallies were even in. She was like, well, that's not gonna matter. He won. So she conceded immediately, or she had somebody concede for her. If you guys remember, I don't remember, Howard University, Spelman. I don't remember what black college. She was at a HBCU, historically black college and university, I believe. And she had her henchmen come out and tell everybody that was sitting there waiting to just go home and go to sleep because it wasn't looking good. She didn't even have the cojones, the balls, she's a girl, the labia, to walk out and do it herself. She had somebody else do it for her. That is not very presidential, in my opinion. And that was the first sign that she was, the first official sign for a lot of people who voted for her, that she was actually trash and not worth their vote. Too late there, right? So, listen. Now, according to this is normally a routine affair. The congressional joint session on January 6th happens every 4 years, is the final step in reaffirming a presidential election after the Electoral College officially elects the winner in December. The meeting is required by the Constitution and includes several distinct steps. So I did all these backwards just so you're fully aware. But what's great to me is it's required by the Constitution. Now, we had John Kerry trying to go through and say that we should just get rid of the Constitution because it was written by old people a long time ago and doesn't reflect our country now. It should reflect our country always. It was written by the men who founded this country. It should always reflect our country. The Constitution should be adhered to, correct? Now, they want to go through and make changes when it doesn't suit them. They want to go through and use the Constitution when it does suit them. They want to pull up, what is it? Amendment 14, Section 3 against Donald Trump, where they're going to try to keep him out of office and say because of the January 6th insurrection, which we all know was not what they said it was. Liz Cheney had a lot to do with it. Nancy Pelosi had a lot to do with it. Donald Trump tried to warn them. Hey, listen, y'all, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people here that may, maybe a big crowd. Maybe you want to bring in a couple extra people. And Pelosi said, nah, let it go. It's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to show you a video later where the White House guards or whatever they're called were telling people to hurry up and come in and go into, not the White House, the Capitol, to move into the Capitol. Okay, anyway, so according to this, under federal law, Congress must meet on January 6th, which is tomorrow. Today is January 5th, to open sealed certificates from each state that contain a record of their electoral votes. The votes are brought into the chamber in special mahogany boxes that are used for the occasion. Bipartisan representatives of both chambers read the results out loud and do an official count. The vice president, as president of the Senate, presides over the session and declares the winner. Just like in 4 years, J.D. Vance will then, as the president of the Senate, he will oversee the confirmation on January 6th in 29, because math in my brain doesn't really work. The Constitution requires Congress to meet and count the electoral votes. If there is a tie, then the House decides the presidency, with each congressional delegation having one vote. That hasn't happened since the 1800s, so there's that. And it won't happen this time because Trump, again, won by a freaking landslide. There was no doubt about it, so we don't have to worry about that. Remember when Pence was vice president and then in that term president of the Senate on January 6th of 2021, Donald Trump did not want him to certify it because he's like, bro, like this is not okay. There have been some really shady dealings going on. And Pence, he doesn't have, I swear, I don't know how to phrase this. A mouse has bigger balls than Mike Pence. We'll go with that. Nothing. He was useless. He was worthless and whatever else. I think he was probably on par as crappy vice president right along with Kamala Harris. I feel like both of them were waste of spaces as vice presidents. Thankfully, we're not going to have the issue with J.D. Vance because that man, eyeliner or not, because everybody thinks he wears eyeliner or not, that man is going to do a very good job as vice president and in theory in 4 years as president. Just kind of depends, right? But that's what a lot of people are hoping for already. So just as a reminder, Trump won over Harris with a decisive 312 to 226. Listen, if it had been, because I can't do math in my brain, but 250 to 251, I could see people going, we need to recount this. I think there's something wrong here. I want to put in an objection, blah, 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 blah. But bro, 312 to 226? Yeah, there should not be a single objection anywhere. So what's interesting is that Congress tightened the rules for the certification after now this part I got from Associated Press, and we all know their heads are up any Democrat's ass. So everything they're going to say here, the way they're going to phrase it, is designed to make Republicans and Donald Trump look shitty. I'm going to try to rephrase it as I read, but if I can't, just know, not my feelings. This is AP's little section right here. It says, Congress tightened the rules for the certification after the violence of 2021 and Trump's attempts to usurp the process. See, I don't like that phrasing. What they meant to say, or what they should have said, was the violence brought on by the Capitol Police, not the actual people that were there, but the Capitol Police themselves brought on the violence, and then Trump's attempts to prove and show that there was some shady dealings when it came to the counting of the votes and everything else that happened. Not that he was trying to mess up the process. He wanted the process done correctly, and the Democrats in office could give two shits about doing anything accurately and correctly, right? So this is called the Revised Electoral Count Act, which passed in 2022. We talked about this a second ago. It more explicitly defines the role of the vice president. This is how AP said it. After Trump aggressively pushed Pence to try and object to the Republicans' defeat. Again, not how that worked. Lady Trucker, hello SquirrelTribe group. Thank you for all your hard work and keeping us up to date on the news. Man, I try. I'm not the best at it. I promise you that. There are better out there, but I do my absolute best, and I appreciate you for noticing. Thank you very much. I love you immensely. It says here, the updated law clarifies that the vice president does not have the power to determine the results on January 6th, which a lot of us were worried about ahead of time with Kamala Harris, you know, her defeat and her going, well, I don't want to certify it. I'm not going to do it. Meh. You know, like that kind of thing, pitching a little bitch fit or whatnot, or a drunk fit, depending on how many drinks she's had before the certification. We were worried about that. But according to the new law they passed in 2022, that the vice president cannot determine the results. It is up to the whole Congress and their recounting and objections, things we've already talked about, right? Now, Harris and Pence were not the first vice presidents to be put in an uncomfortable position of presiding over their own defeats. It says in 2001, Al Gore presided over the counting of the 2000 presidential election that he narrowly lost to George W. Bush. Gore had to gavel several Democrats' objections out of order, and then blah, 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 blah. That's all that matters there. So then I asked Grok over on X, because right now there's a lot of turmoil amongst Donald Trump supporters and Elon Musk non-supporters, I think is how we're going to phrase this, right? So I was curious if Grok would give a real answer, because Grok is an AI tool on X that Elon Musk owns, and Elon Musk, he has been posting a lot lately that has had people questioning his sincerity during the election season with his push for freedom of speech, when right now on X, a lot of people are worried that their freedom of speech is being taken away due to the way that Elon Musk himself is posting on X about how he wants there to be less negativity on the platform. He wants there to be more positive stuff, and he wants people to kind of interact only with verified users, and verified users on X are people who have paid to be there. So it's starting to come across a little uncomfortable, right? When you step back and look at it and you go, wait, has this whole thing been about bringing people to that platform so that that platform can make more money, so that Elon just has everything, right? It's a very dicey situation. We can jump into that one a little bit later. I'm not going to go fully into it, but I did ask Grok about the certification for tomorrow, and this is what it said. Okay, this is what it gave me. 2025 Electoral College certification. Looking forward, January 6, 2025 is set for the certification of the Electoral College votes for the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Due to the events of 2021, this date has been designated a National Special Security Event, ensuring heightened security measures are in place to prevent any disruption. There's an expectation of a quieter process compared to 2021, with procedural changes making it more challenging to halt the certification. I just thought that was interesting that it has now been designated a National Special Security Event. Just interesting to me that that's how that goes. So let me get back over here to X. The reason I'm bringing all this up to you is because I don't know if you guys have noticed the weather. It's getting a little chilly outside, and there have been numerous cities, counties, states, whatever, who have put out warnings about the weather, about snow and ice, and the temperatures plummeting. It's going to be pretty friggin' cold for a lot of people, right? We live in Florida. We just got back from Atlanta. We were in Nashville for Christmas, went to see friends. In Nashville, it was 50s, 40s, nothing weird, right? Atlanta, it was 40s during the day, 20s somethings at night. Normal for Atlanta. Here, where I am in Florida, it's bipolar as hell. Yesterday was 72, today is 68, tomorrow's like 40 something, then it's back up to 50. I don't know what's happening here along the Gulf Coast, no clue. But I know in other places of this country, you guys are like, hey, it's negative 14. Woohoo! It's normally like 30 degrees, but right now it's negative 14, and that is terrifying to me, because I would not survive in sub-zero temperatures. I would not know what to do with myself. I don't do well in cold. I'm wearing a sweatshirt now and it's 68 degrees, and I don't have the AC on in my car. So I wouldn't make it in Minnesota or wherever else. So the reason I'm bringing this up, because again, tomorrow is the certification day. The reason I'm bringing this up is Marjorie Taylor Greene, good old MTG, posted this on X. She says, January 6th at 1 p.m., Congress must certify President Trump's historic election. Washington has a winter storm warning for, get this, January 5th, today, through January 7th, the day after the certification. They are expecting possibly a foot of snow, 12 inches of snow. I'm pretty sure a lot of people up north, 12 inches of snow is like, whatever, right? Y'all are dealing with foot upon foot upon foot of snow from videos I've seen and stuff like that, right? Now, many members of Congress left town this weekend, even though they were told to stay. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, I'm here and will walk to the Capitol if I have to. Just so you guys can see. Look, I'm going to let go of this phone. It's going to fall forward because my whole setup sucks today. And this is probably still backwards. But this is the winter storm warning, whatever, for Washington. The problem here is, y'all, or the interesting part here is that you have these people leaving because they're worried about the weather. Guess what can't happen tomorrow if the people aren't there? They can't certify the presidency. They were told not to leave and they left anyway. What happens to these men and women if they do not show up to certify the presidency? That's what I want to know. That's what I am not finding here. Are there any repercussions to not showing up? Do they still count them even if half the members are missing? Does it still get certified? Or what if Kamala Harris isn't there? What if she's like, oh, there's ice in the driveway. Boo, I really wanted to be there, but oh, sorry guys, can't make it. Like, how does this work? That's what I want to know, is how does this work? Because tomorrow is a huge day. Tomorrow sets into place the next 4 years for us. You thought, November 5th, the winning of the election did it. But no, it is tomorrow. January 6th confirms everything and puts us on the path we want to be on. We talked about it a couple days ago when Juan Merchan, whatever the crap, said that he wanted to still bring Donald Trump up into court for his sentencing for all the bullshit they've been throwing at him that's not real on January 10th. That's supposed to happen on Friday, right? Now, at the time, I did not see anything that said there would be no jail time. They're now saying that Juan Merchan, whatever, said there won't be any jail time for Trump. He just really wants him to be known as a convicted felon. That's all it comes down to, is he wants him to be known as a convicted felon, because as of right now, he is not. He has not been fully officially convicted of anything, right? So there's no title of convicted felon attached to Donald Trump's name. And Juan Merchan really wants that to be there before he goes into office on January 20th. That's what this whole January 10th thing is about. I've seen somewhere else where people are like, Merchan's not even alive. They took him to Gitmo and knocked and killed him. I don't know what they were saying, but there's a lot of stuff going around social media right now that I can't prove, or I fully disbelieve, which is why I have not talked about it previously, i.e. email from Matthew Leivelsberger that was on Sean Ryan's show that now they're saying that is not a real email. There's a whole lot happening in the last couple of days, right? But if they don't certify this election tomorrow, what happens? That's what I want to know. What happens if they don't certify him? If Kamala Harris isn't there, if half the people haven't shown up because they have left, what happens to the certification of the presidency? So that's, I need this phone to stay. On the eve of January 6th, don't ever forget that the Capitol Police were waving people forward. I want you guys to see this. There will be, no, we don't need volume, really. Hold on, wait, play. I'm going to let go of this phone. It's going to lose its ever-loving mind. Watch. Can you guys see this? That's the police officer walking in and waving people in. Let's see if it'll nope, hold on, wait. It'll do it again. Watch. He walks out to the people who have pushed open the gate, and he is waving them in. And then they want to sit here and say that, Trump supporters stormed the Capitol, that they broke through the barriers and stormed the Capitol. Nope, wrong button. Hold on. Wrong button, wait. When I'm trying to do things one-handed and hold the phone up because everything sucks. There's a lot to really take in here when it comes to what happened January 6, 2021, what could happen tomorrow because of the winter storm that just happens to be hitting in the 48 hours that they need to be there. They should be getting there today. They need to certify tomorrow, and they can do whatever the hell they want to on January 7th. But because now Washington has a winter advisory warning for the 5th through the 7th, I just don't even know what's going to happen there. I don't even know what's going to happen there. So that's that with the Capitol stuff. I think I've got, it says here, Governor Glenn Youngkin, I'm declaring a state of emergency for the incoming winter storm currently forecasted to impact Virginia. Our pre-treating preparations are underway and local and state resources continue to actively monitor the forecast and respond through the weekend. This is a big deal because a lot of people who happen to be, you know, Congress, House, Senate, whatever y'all, my brain, I'm too like wound up, so I can't think of all the correct words, but you know exactly what I mean. A lot of them are in Virginia, they're in Maryland, they're in Jersey, they're in New York, all the places that they are that are now under winter storm warnings. They are going to have an excuse to not show up tomorrow. Do they get to Zoom this in? Like, can you Zoom call the certification of the presidency? Because according to the Constitution, I believe they all have to be in the building because the electoral votes are brought in, the certification, the parts they need to certify are brought in that fun little special mahogany box. You can't really Zoom that out, right? So it's going to be an interesting tomorrow. On top of that, you have Megyn Kelly. I do want you to hear this. Come back. This is 52 seconds long. Donald Trump has said that he wants to have like a rally pre-inauguration thingy on January 19th. For the life of me, I can't remember where. If somebody here may know, just go ahead and put it in the comments because I can't think about it. But Megyn Kelly, and I said it when Donald Trump was like, oh yeah, because Benny Johnson posted it, that Donald Trump wanted to do basically a pre-party celebration is what I think of it as on the 19th. And it's like, bro, I think you're a brilliant man, but that's not a smart move. You need to keep your ass in hiding. Personally, my thought, from January 6th until January 20th. At no point in time do we need to see you. Stay where you are. You can tweet anything you want. You can throw stuff up on True Social. Go ahead and make some YouTube videos, throw them up over there if you want. Zoom people, do Zoom calls or whatever else you got. Instagram, whatever you want to do, boo. But keep your ass indoors. Stay in Mar-a-Lago. I don't trust the drones. I don't trust the people. I don't trust blue coolers anymore because IEDs are all over the place in blue coolers lately. I don't trust, don't get in a Cybertruck. Don't rent anything from Turo. Like, there's so many reasons that I think Donald Trump needs to stay his happy ass at home until January 20th. But listen, I want you to hear Megyn Kelly because she agrees with me. Let's see. Again, the phone's going to fall because I was not set up for this way. Let's see if I can get this to play and then I'll hold the phone.
I'm worried he's going to get killed. Right? Aren't you? I'm worried he's going to get killed. How can they stop it? Unless they treat him like he is the current president and respond accordingly with Secret Service assets. Trump is going to get killed. And I have nothing but concern and love and empathy for his family having to deal with that fact right now. Trump, for what it's worth, is typical Trump. I read you at the top of the show the statement he put out. Again, here it is. There were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Sean Hannity over on Fox News reported that Trump said in a conversation to him something to the effect of, I was doing pretty well on my golf round, and I kind of wanted to finish.
A guy goes to the doctor.
Wait, I don't know what's happening there. So that ended. So there's that. Side note, I was able to see whatever dipshit was in the live chat you guys were talking about. I got him out of there. We're good. So Megyn Kelly, even for her, she's like, I don't trust this. I'm worried about him. I'm concerned for him. I'm in the same boat as Megyn Kelly, worried about him, and I would like him to stay safe. That is all I have for that. Now, we could end this, but we're going to keep going because I got a couple more things I want to bring to your attention. Yesterday or day before, I believe it was yesterday, President Biden decided to dole out the Presidential Medal of Freedom to just anybody and everybody that he wanted to kiss ass of, Hillary Clinton being one of those. Denzel Washington got some medal. The only person that I saw, not the only. There were people who from different wars that got medals. Okay, that makes perfect sense to me. But Hillary Clinton, not in the least. Liz Cheney, what the fuck? And then this one here, Biden just gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Jose Andres, who appears in photos with the Trump's would-be assassin, Ryan Ralph. Just so you, this person, y'all see that? He gave him a medal right there. That same guy. Okay. Oh, side note, Ryan Routh, the same one who was also at Fort Bragg, now Fort Liberty, with the Matt Leibelsberger, the one who was blown up in a Cybertruck, is how I'm going to phrase that from now on. And then the other guy, Sadiq, blah, 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 who intentionally murdered people in New Orleans on New Year's Day by driving his Turo rented Ford Lightning electric vehicle into the crowd, also with the IEDs, also got out with a gun and started shooting and was taken out by police. Thankfully, a whole lot of stuff there. But I'm surprised. If Biden was still around in 4 years, you'd probably give him a medal because, he has absolutely no whatever. So he gave him a medal. He gave one to Michael J. Fox. I was like, get it, Marty McFly. Like, I love you, Marty. So I'm fine with that. I haven't seen Michael J. Fox do anything in my lifetime that would make me dislike that man. I could be wrong. I could be missing something. I don't know. But from what I have seen, I was glad that Michael J. Fox got one. Now, on top of this, y'all, here we go. Camp Pendleton posted this up. Commander Northcom has directed all military installations to implement heightened security measures at all entry gates to include 100% ID check, random inspections, and the suspension of the Trusted Traveler program until further notice. That's at Camp Pendleton. Then you have Nellis Air Force Base. Effective immediately. The Trusted Traveler program has been temporarily suspended at Nellis Air Force Base until further notice. All visitors to Nellis Air Force Base who do not possess a DoD ID card will require a base pass from the Visitor Control Center to access the installation. It's interesting timing, don't you think? Don't you think? Right after all this information is coming out, and it just happens to be them telling us that we've had military men in our military who have somehow gone rogue and started committing treasonous acts or whatever else. Now the places are like, oh, we should probably go on lockdown. Why? Like, what, not lockdown. That's the wrong word. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to scare anybody. I didn't say lockdown. I said it. I didn't mean it. That's the wrong word. I have gone on heightened security. That's better. Why? But why? See, I have questions about everything. I need to know why they are now all on heightened security, why they have gotten rid of the Trusted Traveler program. What Trusted Travelers did they let in that have turned out to be bad? Was it Ryan Ruth, or however crap you say his name? Was it anybody else lately? What are we missing? What are we not finding out at the same time? The Matthew Leibelsberger, I think I'm saying his name right, they're saying that he sent an email out that can't be verified. A lot of people have actually said that there's verification that it's not him because he sent it on December 31st in theory, but he changed some stuff on his phone on the 29th, I think, and that in and of itself should let you know that it wasn't him that was using the phone after the 29th. Lots of information, very hard to keep in my brain, so I'm going to have to deeper dive on that, or you guys can follow other larger channels who do this for a living, like journalists and things like that. But where the hell was I going with this? Hold on, please hold. Y'all, I lost it. Damn it, squirrel. Hold on, don't go anywhere. It's going to come back. It is. I know it is. Oh, they said that in the email that he sent, he was connecting the drones that we were seeing for the longest outside of Jersey and that area to China and America, the United States, and that he had information on it. And then there's been a lot of stuff from there. I have to, again, do more research on that before I can talk about that. But it's just interesting that in theory, he was a whistleblower against drones. So in theory, it's possible that he was taken care of and framed to look like he was also some sort of terrorist or whatever else, when in actuality he was a patriot who was trying to warn America, the citizens here, exactly what was going on. He was a huge Trump fan. It's possible, not Trump fan. I don't think fan is really the right word. Believer of Trump, supporter of Trump, we'll go with that, Trump supporter. And it's possible that the things that were done, if he did in fact do these things, write the email and rent the truck, and well, obviously he rented the truck, we know that for a fact, but we've seen video of him backing into charging stations to charge and stuff. But the rest of it, if he in fact did the things they say he did, could it have been done to draw attention to him, to then draw attention to what he knew and the whistles that he was trying to blow before things went awry? So that's the question there. Anyway, on top of all this, But wait, there's more. On top of all this, where is it? Please hold. I got a lot of notes here, and I'm trying to go in order, like that ever really actually happens. Don't know how to go in order to save my effing life. Where is it? Nope, that's that. That's that. Hold on, I'm almost there. I promise you, do not go anywhere. Here it is. FBI releases video of NOLA terrorist wearing Meta glasses and placing coolers with IEDs throughout the French Quarter. Now, Meta glasses, in case you don't know, they are Ray-Bans. The Ray-Ban has partnered up with Meta, which is Facebook, which is Mark Zuckerberg, and they have these glasses that have cameras built in that can record and live stream at the same time. And I know this because my nephew has a pair. That's all he wanted. He's 16 and whatever else, and he's on Twitch and some other stuff all the time. Like he's a gamer, right? And he wanted these Ray-Bans with Meta. So he got them, and he can listen to music in them. He can answer phone calls with these sunglasses. He can record stuff. He can go live and live stream with these glasses on. And when they first came out, my first thought was, these are going to be used for some nefarious shit. And sure enough, I want to show you this video. Do I have the volume all the way up again? Because we don't need the volume. But I want to show you this video here. Hold on, I gotta fix the phone to let go of the phone to show you the video. Just wait. It's gonna, okay. So this is the, dang it, come on now. The glare here is absolutely redonkulous. All right, so this is the guy. You saw him there with the Meta glasses in the mirror. This is him rolling around, walking around with a cooler. Now, a lot of people pointed out that there was a cooler just like this on the corner of Trump Tower where the Cybertruck explosion occurred, right? So you see him rolling around with this cooler. And I don't know if he has his glasses on right now or not. I assume he does, because that's what they're saying, that he had the glasses on while he was rolling around. And he's looking down at his phone, and his outfit to me looks interesting. It doesn't look like a coat. It looks like something you may wear in Egypt or wherever else, whereas he just came back from. It could be a coat. No, it is. Okay, ignore everything I just said. But he's walking around, and I was noticing that it looked like he was pretending to be on his phone, but he was really waiting to make sure there's nobody around him before he walked away from this cooler. Why does he look at this camera and wave? Does anybody know why he looks at this camera and waves before walking away from this cooler? Now, again, that cooler, they are saying, was the IEDs that they found within his Houston home. He was building them in Houston. He had a place in New Orleans. He visited New Orleans twice before any of this, and he walked around with his Meta glasses on in New Orleans. Basically, they said, mapping out his path that he was going to take on January 1st. Like, this is pre-planned. This was not an accidental thing. We know that for a fact. But the coolers, they said there were numerous ones of them throughout the city that they were able to find. Again, I give myself hiccups when I talk and don't breathe. Please hold. But I want to know who he was waving at. So here's this video of him rolling around with these coolers, leaving them in places. He looks at a camera. So one, he knew exactly where the camera was, willingly looked up and waved, which is in and of itself weird as hell, right? And then today we find out the district attorney in New Orleans has committed suicide. I'm just saying, I don't know if there's going to be a link between these two things or not. It's just very interesting to me. It gives me Luigi Mangione, and I know this is a whole hop, skip, and jump away from what we're talking about, but Luigi Mangione, the one that they said murdered Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare in Manhattan, outside of his Hilton Hotel on, I feel like December 5th is the day, but now I don't remember the day, and it doesn't really matter. Did everything in his power to not be noticed and you know, left the area, but then somehow left behind a bunch of clues about like taking his mask off and to flirt with somebody at Starbucks, leaving fingerprints behind, all these different things. Every single one of these situations lately has felt like a massive setup to me. Everybody's like MK Ultra, and I'm like, you know, psychological warfare on these people. Are they being mind controlled? We do know, and again, I have a tendency to go pretty far left field, but we do know that Elon Musk does have some sort of chip, the Neuralink, I believe it's called, that he wants people to be able to implant in their brains, and it's supposed to help you if you happen to be paralyzed and can't move your extremities. It's supposed to help your mind and your body connect to each other. My question is, and I'm not saying this is a thing, this is my thought, my opinion, my wonderings. I'm no way, shape, or form saying this is fact. Please understand that, Elon Musk, before you sue the shit out of me. How do we know that this Neuralink activity hasn't already been sold to our government, to the military, to China, to somebody else, to anybody else, and has not already been used in people and can't be controlled from outside sources. Just like Tesla can shut your car down, they can also drive your car for you. These are the things I wonder. These are just the things I wonder. You know, can you hack into somebody's brain? You can hack into a car, you can hack into a phone and a computer, anything with a chip in it, it seems like you can hack into. Well, if that chip is in somebody's brain, can you hack into their brain? That's my question. Why does a veteran, a soldier, suddenly deflect and commit a massive act of terrorism on our soil, and another one unalive himself? And then there's been numerous others over the past couple days that are now coming out as they've done something, and I'm like, this is starting to feel real sci-fi, science fiction-y, right? But unfortunately, it's our country right now. Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's all I got. So we could do a lot more, but since I don't have the car on, this sweatshirt is getting a little warm now, and my arm is getting tired of holding the phone up. So I love you guys immensely. I'll see you sometime tomorrow. My husband and I are back. We get a date night tonight, so that's going to be fun. You might see some posts on X that, inappropriate. I don't know. You just never know. I have a tendency to speak my mind way too much over there on all kinds of subjects. Patreon as well. Oh, so I want to have a conversation about the whole RFK Jr. and vaccines and bird flus and stuff, and I cannot do it over here. YouTube literally takes my video away every single time I try to upload it. Those will be over on Patreon if you guys want to go over there. It is free to join Patreon. It is free to join X, just so you're fully aware. But I can talk about different things on different platforms, which is why I'm thankful we do have different platforms to have different conversations on, because we need to have all the conversations. So there is that. All right. I love y'all. It is hot as balls in here. I'm going to turn the car on, go home, and take a shower because I look like gross. Yesterday, day of traveling has caught up to me. So that's that. I think that's it. I love y'all. Be safe. Tomorrow, it's going to be an interesting day. We'll definitely be back here at least probably around 1 o'clock tomorrow at the time of the certification of the election to see what's happening, because I'm curious if they're going to do it or if they're going to try to find a way to push it off. So that's that. Okay. Goodbye. I love you. Adios.